physicians can participate in questions and answers online. It's a one-to-many way of interacting. It's a way that you may have seen in your local paper, a physician answering questions, but the wonderful thing about being online is that a very rich comment stream can happen after the physicians participate by answering questions on Mental Health Quora, Facebook. It's something that I see a way for physicians to show their expertise and that they have a real involvement and investment in sharing that information. And it's a way for those providers to get more patients because people will recognize the fact that, well, if he has enough passion and willingness to share online, then maybe I'd like to go and see him. One fascinating place that is enlarging online is the proliferation of actual data online. In places like Patients Like Me, at MedHealth, at Avon has sponsored a Susan Love Foundation to collect breast cancer data. Many of these online repositories of health information are becoming very interesting. The reason why is that people are finding other people like them, other people with their diseases, and there are serendipitous things that can be disclosed by people who, for example, have all the same Victoria's Secret bra that a couple springs ago. They started saying that we got this strange rash, and they found each other online at MedHealth, and they were able to convince Victoria's Secrets to pull it back, and Victoria's Secrets actually shared the fact that yes, this online collection of users did disclose the fact that we had a problem and contamination in the manufacturing of that bra. It's an example that not only drugs and medical devices, but any consumer product can have side effects, and in this example, a bra was found to have significant side effects. It's especially useful for people with rare diseases and people who want to discover the off-label usage patterns and the kind of effects that off-label use can have on patients, because these are things that a pharmaceutical company will never sponsor. And people are finding it because they're able to actually discover it using Google. These rare things, other people can find each other using just searching online. In terms of collaboration, there's a public Wikipedia, but I don't see many physicians willing to participate. Part of it is because I think they feel a lack of control over the editing and upkeep of that site. Instead, at our institution, we actually have internal blogs and wikis that physicians participate in. We're able to share with our other partners how we're improving our practice and how our group is striving to improve our quality. SharePoint is one of those technologies that we use internally. One safe way for physicians to participate online is to share just evidence-based medical content. You can rate and like content from your professional organizations online. You can tag that with other people who you think would like that content. You can comment, because more and more comments on specific content will make that content more popular. In terms of participating online, I wanted to remind folks that there's no way to be anonymous online. There's a recent Rhode Island physician this spring who was fired because the patient was able to recognize themselves, even though all the personal health information, that personal identifying information was stripped from that. That patient recognized that that was their story, and as long as they can recognize that story, then you're at a great deal of risk. So I think it's very important that that you make sure that you share in a safe way. Share with your own name and own up to the statements that you're making online, and share only things that have been completely anonymized. Change all the details about stories, and stick to the medical condition and the treatment that you provided. All this is done not only on the web, but using mobile tools, more and more on even more dynamic tools like mobile video. People are not just doing FaceTime, but they're able to use top products like Tango to actually communicate with people one-on-one and one-to-many. And it's about this amazing network effect of all the interactions that you have online, and it's in a crazy, uncontrolled, disorganized manner. And because of that, make sure that what you share online is what you would tell your worst enemy, because sometimes these things can come back to bite you. So make sure that you do share online exactly what you intend to. So I wanted to thank you so much for inviting me here, and I wanted to be able to answer any questions about how it can be safe for physicians and providers to share online.
Thank you very much. Do we have any questions from the floor? Pat Rich, please, from the CNA.
Yeah, Pat Rich from the Canadian Medical Association. Just wondering, in California, if there's any regulations come out from the Physician Licensing Authority around engaging in social media. We have some serious, significant documentation from our regulatory authorities warning doctors against social media, just because, to your point, that there is no safe way to engage in social media online. So they're saying, because of privacy and security considerations, doctors are wiser just to stay right away from it, and they can risk disciplinary action if they do. So I'm wondering what the status is in California.
You know, I think in California maybe things are a little different in that I think they see these tools as other technologies, as they're technologies as we have faxes and you know, the newspaper. So I mean, they're technologies that can be used, and the California State, our Consumer Affairs department that licenses physicians has not made public statements regarding it. That said, your groups, for example, Stanford here, or my group is Policy Medical Foundation, which is an affiliate of Sutter, has specific policies governing the way we should interact online, and it touches on the same kind of things I shared. Don't include any personally identifying health information. Make it all about your own opinions, and don't represent your group. So I think there is a way here to use these technologies safely.
Brian Barbedian, I just want to make a point that I think that we really, as physicians, have to address these issues sort of internally. Otherwise, we're going to see this external regulation happening. And I think it's very tricky in the social culture for us to call each other out. But the reality is, I think when protected health information is involved and when we're humiliating patients, Anne-Marie Cunningham right now is in the British press over an exchange that happened just a few days ago. If you've not followed that, everyone should see it. But we all have to be stepping up as physicians to be enforcing these things. Otherwise, our state boards or NHS or whatever is going to do it for us.
You know, Brian, the way I see our involvement in social media is that we don't exist in a vacuum, and this is us stepping our toes into a gigantic pool where we're an invited member. I see every interaction that I have online as something like a Valentine sending out to invite people to interact. And so I think that it's really important that we're very careful about the kind of expressions we do make, and that they would be consistent with the group, the people that we work with, the culture that we exist within, and that is applicable to any of you within all the universities and other places that you represent.